Hi. um, I read 20 books this year, so I am going to review my top five and tell you why they're my top five. I don't do this very often or ever, really, so let's get into it. Okay, starting off with number five, it's Frank Sonnets by Diane Seuss. So this documents it's a poetry collection, and it documents the speaker's relationship to her son and her dealing with motherhood while her son's also dealing with addiction. And also there's death and other things happening with it. It's kind of intense, but I really recommend this book. I studied poetry in my undergrad, and it just had so many surprising moments that I really loved. I was reading it on the plane, so it was kind of intense. Maybe not the best plane book, but it just was really good. I just really loved. I also am a huge fan of Rick O'Hara, so it was just everything I was looking for in a sonnet collection. So thank you, Diane Seuss. Okay, my number four pick is Cinema Love by Zhang Mingtang. This is a fiction novel about two gay men in 1980s China navigating the intersectionalities of being gay, being poor, just a repressive society, and then how these characters move on later in their lives. This was really good. I originally thought this wasn't going to be as good. I'm not sure why. I originally thought this wasn't going to be as good as it was, but it was surprisingly very good. I really loved the descriptions. I felt really involved with the characters. This is a debut novel, which I was very surprised. This is really good. And I got into this from You and Me Bookstore in the Lower East Side because they had a book club for it. So I really recommend this book. I learned a lot about what's happening in China in the 1980s. So yeah, recommend it. Okay, number three is Winter in Sokcho by Elisa Shua Dusipin, which won the National Book Award, I think in either 2021 or 2022. But this is a fiction novel about a young woman navigating a relationship with a man that comes to town, and kind of unpacking her own traumas, relationship with her mom. There's a lot of different things happening in this, but it was very cohesive. I loved the main character so much because I was like, wow, I understand her mindset and just her reasoning behind things, and I also was felt at times conflicted with her, but I also sensed that within the character too. So I think the protagonist really is what drew me to putting this on my top five this year. But love this book. Recommend it for sure. Of course, all these books, but okay, my number two for this year is Autobiography of Red by Anne Carson. I know this book is old. I know it's older. I haven't got around to reading it. I think a lot of the times I was worried about the overhypedness of it, but this is a poetry or a novel in verse about following the character Geryon from Heracles' 12 labors and unpacking Geryon's life before his what happens in his myth from Greek mythology. It's so good. I love Geryon. I have been Geryon. I've felt those feelings, and I think that's what really put this book at my number two this year, was just that I felt this character. I know this character because I have been this character, and not in the main character sense, but in I have felt those feelings, and I think that this book creates feelings that everyone can understand. So check it out. It's an older one, but check it out if you haven't read it. My number one pick for this year was When Death Takes Something From You, Give It Back by Naya Marie Aid, translated by Denise Newman. I have bought this book for people because I feel this book is so important to read. It's about a mother unpacking her son's death due to a drug accident, as described in the book. And so it's very intense. Probably one of the most intense books I've ever read in my entire life. But I love things that are emotionally screaming. This book is it's screaming, it's wailing, it's silent, it's everything. Everything is in its feelings. It's also beyond feelings. I think about this book every day. And I'm not kidding when I say that. It was a National Book Award longlist finalist. I have nothing else but good things to say about this. And this book stays with me throughout my day, all the time. And I have been changed by this book. So I can't recommend it harder. But this was my number one of all the books. Please get this one. Yeah, that was my 2024 in books. I'm already jumping ahead. So thanks for joining. Hope you get some of the books. Let me know what you think of them.